Yeah, we're back, plowing the snow. Yeah. Blink. I thought I'd make a video now and whoops. Sunset as opposed to sunrise. I don't like getting up early, so I always tend to work late. I like when the sun goes down and casts those long shadows. I just missed the pink sky. Whee, nice colors. We're plowing the snow. We're plowing the snow. Hi ho, I never get paid. We're plowing the snow. Thanks. Dumpster diving. Alright, it's a boring life, back and forth. Well, yeah. Doink. Time to plow some snow, and oh, here's one of those buses. Yippee! Brand new. Axiom. Did it again. Son of a gun. Loose freaking dry shaft. I don't believe it. There's the oil. What the hell? There's my friggin' vibration. I don't believe those bolts. Yep. Hello. Junk. Look at that. Working fine. Hot. Got some heat in here. It's a good thing. So, catching up on my videos. Hey, I need one of these for my 93 3/4 ton. See that recess in there? Usually they're flat across the top. This is recessed because it's got a special locking plate above the locking plate held on with two small torque screws. I could use one of these suckers for my 93 Chevrolet. So I'm going to take apart this plow frame gizmo to make it easier to move around. And then, look at that. Lots of room in here, boy. Chevrolet. And then I'm going to bring in the Blazer, and you'll see why in a minute. Suburban. Hey, wait a minute. I got a light. Watch this. There we go. Suburban and Blazer, and the Blazer's got some problems. Well, fix her. Pain in the butt. Try to keep the little bit of heat that I have in here. No insulation. Junk. Getting organized here. More 2x4s, Corvair block, blankets in case the heat goes off and I gotta sleep here. Radiator. More shelves. Well, fill them up. B-rod. Clean this place up. Too much junk. Okay, got some heat. What's the temperature in here? It's bloody cold outside, must be 5 degrees. In here it is Fahrenheit, 44 Celsius. Oh, we got here 5 degrees. And outside, handy dandy flashlight. Whew. Outside it's 6 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 15 Celsius. It's a glorious thing, huh? Terrible. Hang on a second. Uh-oh. Dead soldier. Alright, we got work to do. Let's clean up this mess so I can get to my tool bench. Meow. Heated up red, cherry red. Red hot. Oops. This is how you get off a rusted bolt without breaking it. And you turn off the heat using one hand, which ain't so easy. And you spray it with ice cold water that freezes in this time of year. Very important, you got to hit it right away with a spray bottle or snow or ice or a garden hose or whatever. But if you want to get a rusted bolt off, unless it's cast iron, it tends to crack. You just hit it with ice cold water till it's nice and cool. And this bolt that never would have come undone, I didn't want to show you that and bore you to death, but you know about rusted bolts and I know about PB Blaster, WD-40, da-da-da, Seafoam. It's all the crock of shoot, because look at that. None of it works. You can spray it on for 10 years, you can tap it, you can put this and that to it, you can kiss it, and you can lick it, but the only thing's going to work to get off a rusted bolt. And I know guys are going to say, oh, I know a guy, PB Blaster, and the Titanic friggin' rose up from the bottom of the ocean. Nothing works. Something is rusted in place. You can't see me. Oops. How about that? There we go. When something is rusted in place, the only thing that works is a liberal application of heat, and then you cool it big time, and the shock breaks the rust and cleans the rust out. Sometimes you spray it with a bit of WD-40 after you've done all that to clean the threads, but that's what I use it for. I know. Like I said, guys are going to swear up and down that the bolts are on for 50 years, below the ocean, and encrusted with corals, and they just sprayed a little PB Blaster on and it came undone. Bull. Rusted. So that's it. We're going to take this thing apart so we can store it without catching ourselves on it. Cut those bolts right off. Self-locking nylocks. Chuck. How's my heater doing here? Need some plow lights? Kind of rough. Uh-oh. Increase the flow a little bit. Kind of petering out. Wonder where that expression petering out came from. Thanks for looking. Check. Tight fix. Come on back. Beep, beep. Come on back. Beep, beep, beep. No mirrors. Door is too narrow. Beep, beep, beep. Come on back. Uh-oh. Gotta get out of here now. Tight squeeze. Stinking tight. Oh, I got room to work. Uh-huh. Up and over. Close the door. Whoop. Drop the lock. Good night, Suburban. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Blazer. Good night, Jimmy. We're in. Here we are, taking off the last bolt on the front drive shaft. Bugger. What a bugger. Piss on Jap crap was saying, well, you should have put some Loctite. I'm going to freaking weld it this time. I can't believe I put brand new grade 8 bolts. I tightened the crap out of them. Ding. That's what my vibration was. My drive shaft was coming off. How could I be so ignorant? Look at that. Just freaking fixed that too. Anyways, I guess it could have been worse. Luckily I was going 1 mile an hour just making a U-turn in the middle of the road for the quiet road. Bugger, 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 bugger. Broke off my strut rod. Busted it right off and pushed it into the case up there. Where are we here? See the 2 scratches right in the middle of the screen? Anyhow, well, fix her up. And this time we're going to weld it on. Get some more bolts and put lock washers and Loctite and weld it. Look at the salt pouring off the exhaust. Salt everywhere you look on the exhaust. This is my original 1984 exhaust, covered in salt. Any wonder these things rust away? Luckily I got some rust proofing on it. It's too thin though, that crown stuff. I like the grease better. Well, fix her up. Well, fix her up. That's it. Off it comes. There's my drive shaft. Clunk. There's my recently epoxy closed hole. Blown right open again. Anyways, like I said, I was going 1 mile an hour, so I'm lucky there's no additional damage. Just gotta re-epoxy it. Stupid. And weld this up. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Oh boy, what are we doing here? I got my knees up on a piece of carpet. And I am trying to remove the drain plug for the radiator because I discovered why she's overheating. Duh, the friggin' thermostat junk. But to get to the drain cock, which I have cut off because those things are useless, I'm just going to unscrew the whole bolt. So I've got a 3/8 with a long extension with a universal joint with a socket, built-in U-joint socket. That didn't work. Different kind of U-joint. That didn't work. Ratchet, air ratchet. That wouldn't fit in because the fender is too close. Little hole in the fender would fix this problem. So that's what I'm doing. Stick this wrench down there. It's a ratcheting wrench. And one way it fits is underneath the battery tray, underneath the oil cooler lines that are leaking. Pissing. Piss. Pee-pee. Make pee-pee. You can't see a thing except a hand in there. There, I'm ratcheting. Way down there, right in the middle of the screen. I'm going to take that out so I can drain a bit of coolant and change this upper hose, which is just about to burst. Whoa, is that soft? Would I squeeze that just there? Oh yeah, oh yeah. There it is. I got the plug out. There's the plug right there. I couldn't show it to you because I don't have 3 hands. I'm not that cool. So what I've done is I put the cap back on You don't want to remove the cap. You want the cap on so that the antifreeze has to guggle-jurgle out like that. Not too fast. So as not to make a huge mess, especially since I don't have to remove very much. I had it drained this summer and it's friggin' going everywhere, like usual. The antifreeze on my nice swept floor. Don't have to remove very much. Just maybe a gallon or so out of the 6-7 gallon capacity, so I can get the upper hose off. It only has to be down the level has to only be down a couple inches. Take off the upper hose, we'll change it, take off the thermostat, change the thermostat, and look at this friggin' mess. Covered in salt. Press, made in China junk. One day I'll put my plow lights on, but I got a fuel injection line leaking way in the back. And the transfer case I got epoxy up, and it's cold outside, and it's not so bad in here. So, got the antifreeze pouring everywhere. Green antifreeze in a green vessel. And the green light's on, my battery's fully charged. You hear that? Drive GM. What a mess. We'll fix her up next week. Bottom bolt was friggin' tight. Real tight, as in bust the bolt inside the housing or strip the aluminum out. What I'm doing now is I'm taking off the thermostat housing so I can change my defective thermostat, which it turns out is the cause of my overheating. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day while I was driving, and I was going downhill and it was still getting kind of hot. He says, turn off the engine, check the radiator. Duh! I should know friggin' that. So I checked the radiator and it's barely warm. The engine's running 220. So there's the defective thermostat. Can't complain. I got 25 years out of it. It may very well be the original. Doesn't really matter if I mangle it. That is junk. One of those nice high flow ones. Tap, tap, tap. Ding! And there it goes. As my buddy was telling me, he says, there's no way you have an overheating problem, no matter how big your snowplow is. I wasn't forcing it going up the hill. Here, I got him. Come on. No way you have an overheating problem. He's got a 2-wheel drive Suburban, and he's towed countless vehicles up and down mountains with a trailer behind with a car on it. So there it is. Somehow, somewhere. The pellet inside, or however these things work. I've never dissected one. I've dissected a lot of things in my life, but I've never dissected a thermostat. Just never did it. So, set down the camera right here, and we'll clean her off a little bit. And maybe it'll have a date when it was manufactured. .15L3 V190. 15L3. Well, maybe it's 15th week of 1984. I don't know. Because it is an 84 Blazer heat. There it is. I've been stirring up some epoxy while I talked to piss on jack scrap, so I put a couple layers of epoxy in that hole. Let me try to zoom in. That's epoxy, so I'll put the last glob on. And this is a different brand of epoxy. It's some green crap. Fancy package. The last one was leaking a bit. That's it. You just fold it into the inside after you spray it with carb cleaner to clean it. Then I sanded it last time. I could see the grind marks. So got to get a thermostat tomorrow and fill this up. Get some new bolts, and look at that friggin' salt on the pan and the exhaust. 11 o'clock at night. Time to turn her off and go to bed. Good night.